Hi everyone, my name is Becky, I have ME and this is my ME. So please excuse like the lighting and angles and things. I don't know what I'm doing with this camera. I know I'll get used to it eventually, but I've no idea what I'm doing. So everything I've tried, it's like half my face is dark. So yeah, let's just go with it. I'll get used to it. I will, honestly. I'm just not very good at technology. I don't know, I feel like I have more control with my phone camera. I don't know. Anyway, so today what I wanted to talk about was invisible versus visible disabilities. And I guess I wanted to talk about it because it's quite an important issue. Invisible disabilities, I believe, are. But also because I've got kind of a perspective of both sides of the coin, really, having had visual walking aids and not, and people's attitudes and things. But before I dive into that, I guess I wanted to maybe give a bit of a background as, I don't know, maybe as an understanding as to why people are so hostile when they think, you know, disabled badges are being abused and things. I don't know, but the current climate in our country right now, well, I say our country, I mean the UK, because that's where I live, and I can only talk about the UK. I can't talk about any other country because I don't have experience living there. But here I would say right now it is quite a dangerous place for those who have illnesses and disabilities, and visible or invisible. The reason for that is we have a government who has for many years now been pushing the rhetoric that if you have an illness or a disability, you know, you're lazy, you're work shy, you're lying or exaggerating at the very least. Excuse me, and that we're getting something for nothing, essentially, and that's what's being peddled. And the reason it's being, you know, that's out there, the reason why they're doing this is for one reason: money, austerity to be exact, because they have targeted very, very hard, they have targeted those with disabilities and illnesses, from cutting social care, you know, NHS care, and its help and support within communities, and, you know, within, you know, for example, like the social housing sector, you know, who used to have, they used to have like a kitty for people who were struggling to maintain their homes, and you could say, you know, that I've got these resources, they can come and help you, but that's all gone now, it's all gone. So any care that most of us get, we have to pay for privately, which wasn't too bad when we were all able to still claim DLA, which is disability living allowance, which is a little bit of extra money every month to help meet the extra financial costs of living with a disability or illness. It wasn't too bad, but then what they did was they changed it to PIP or PIP, and nobody's getting it. So and they've severely cut the rates for those who do get it. So we're super struggling here anyway. And the consequence of this is that I'll leave all my links and things below for any statistics and things that I use, so you can go and check them out for yourselves and what have you. In 2015 alone, despite it being a massively underreported crime, the disability hate crime, so hate crime towards those with disabilities, rose 41%. That's just 1 year. And the year before it had only been a 5% rise. So you can see what's going on there, and you know, you only really have to see the correlation. You know, you can see the correlation if you pick up a copy of the Sun or the Daily Mail, which I don't suggest you do because it kills brain cells. It's actually a very serious affliction. There should be government warnings on those papers. But you can see that correlation there. And so for myself, as my illness progressed, my mobility got worse and worse. I was very, very stubborn. I didn't want to use a walking aid at all. And so, you know, I'm still the same now, but I have no choice. But and so I would struggle as much as I could without one. So I had a walking stick, and I started to need to rely on it a lot, more and more and more. And so I decided it was time to see if I could apply for a disabled parking badge, which I did, and I got. They don't just hand them out like candy, you know, you do have to apply. There's a reason. So that's what happened there. I got that, and so very often, because I used the trolley as a walking device, a walking aid device thing, I often would kind of get out of my car and go to the trolley thing, and that's that. And so what people would see was they would see a relatively young woman, I guess a young woman because it was a while ago now, drove and park into a disabled parking bay and walk into the supermarket. That's what they see. And so of course I got stared at, I got head shaked at, I had people asking me what my illnesses were, what my diagnoses were. And you know, like, that isn't rude. People even shouting at me. I had all these horrible things happening, and of course it makes you feel so uncomfortable. But those disabled bays, they gave me a little bit more of independence, and they helped with my pain a little bit, because I didn't have to walk as far. Because what these people didn't see is that I had to rest in bed non-stop the day before, just so that I could get out and go shopping that day, which is like, what, an hour or something. They didn't see that. They couldn't see the excruciating amount of pain I was in. They couldn't see how absolutely exhausted I was in. You know, how exhausted I was. Sorry, brain's not working today. You know, they didn't see me, you know, leave the supermarket, barely, like, hunched over the trolley, barely able to walk. They didn't know that I'd been using, you know, that I was having to use my trolley as a walking aid. You know, they didn't know that when, you know, I would be crying in the car on the way home, or I'd go to a private part of the car park where no one could see, and I would cry because I would be in that much pain. They wouldn't see that I wouldn't be able to, that night I wouldn't be able to get my shopping in out of the car. It would have to stay there overnight because I couldn't do it. Or that I'd be crawling on my hands up on and knees up to bed because I couldn't do it any other way, and that I probably wouldn't sleep that night because the pain would be so bad. No, I was just judged. They don't care. They don't care. They just need to feel superior, I guess, and judge. Now, attitudes started to change towards me. I would pull into a car parking space, and although people would watch me because obviously I look young, they wouldn't really saying anything. They wouldn't shake their heads at me. They wouldn't comment. They certainly wouldn't shout. They would just go on with their day once I got out of the car. And I even had people be quite courteous to me and offer to take my trolley back, and you know, things like that, or ask if I needed help putting my shopping in the car, you know, things like that. And what changed was I had to use walking aids all the time, and they were these big crutches, these big hospital issue crutches. I still have to use them today. And I had to use them all the time. So it wasn't just using my walking stick, which people don't take seriously anyway by the looks of things. You know, so because I had this visual walking aid now, people's attitudes changed towards me. And so I just wanted to throw a few statistics out there regarding that, really. And that is... it was found, and again I'll leave the links below, 96% of all illnesses are invisible. That's a huge amount. So those people who say they have illnesses and you're saying, oh, you know, yeah, okay, whatever, you're probably exaggerating or whatever, you know, you've just insulted somebody with a real illness, probably, and judged somebody. 74% of people who suffer with disability don't use a walking aid. And I can totally relate to that, because I really was very stubborn and pushed and pushed and pushed until I couldn't push no more. You know, I mean, I'm still really stubborn now. They're like, you need to be in a wheelchair. I'm like, nope, I'm going to stay on my legs until they stop working completely. I suppose the only thing we can do is raise awareness, really. That in my travels of looking at for statistics and things, I found a website by the Invisible Disabilities Association, and they've got this campaign running called Invisible No More, and what it does is it obviously aims to bring awareness to those you know, invisible illnesses, but also to bring about respect and understanding and compassion for those who do have an invisible illness. And the way they're doing this is through video, and on their website, if you go and have a look, it's really interesting, some of people's stories actually, some things that I would never have that way, 'cause it's about to fall anyway, that I would never have thought of. You know, you can send one in yourself, a video on their website, and you can listen to people's stories and watch them talk about their invisible illness and how bad it affects their lives, but yet they're still not believed and they're still judged, and it's so sad. But I think it's something we need to bring awareness to. I really do. You know, it's partly why I wanted to start this channel, is because one of my mission statements, I guess you can call it, was that I wanted to film myself when I'm really ill, film myself when I'm having a terrible day, filming myself when I'm in a flare-up, film myself looking like I'm dead and having, you know, a crisis of I feel like a shit parent because I am one, kind of thing. You know, I wanted to show people the real face of ME, and so this, I feel, is showing people the real face of invisible illness, and I think it's so important, and I really want to start looking into maybe raising more awareness into invisible disabilities and illnesses and things. You know, that's something that I'm personally going to start looking into. But check out their website, it's really, really amazing. I found anyway, you know, some of the stories really resonated with me, and some of them I was just like in awe of, these people and what they go through. And it's, you know, sometimes you think you've got it so bad, and then you listen to somebody else and you're just like, oh my gosh, you know, I wish I could take that away for you. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, and go ahead, warriors, and do your own awareness raising. It would be amazing. I think I'm going to really look into it and see what I can do, even if it's just sharing things. That would be great. So if you could leave a like on this video, it would really help me out. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been wonderful to talk to you. No, it really has. I've been away for too long. It's been wonderful. So thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you again very soon. Bye.